minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, I'm Lee. I fly planes and the occasional rocket simulator. And just like you, I've been stuck here at home for a while. But lucky for you, you've just taken the first step to completing your astronaut training.
The Mars Moon Astronautics Academy in Research Science is giving away 6 astronaut crew positions at their state-of-the-art Martian training facility in the middle of the Mojave Desert. It's like quarantine, but on Mars. And this isn't some kiddie camp or tourist attraction. This is real-deal astronaut training. You'll even get a certificate at the end. We're talking EVA missions, space food, astronautics research, and maybe even a little bit of this. And here's the best part. You don't need a PhD in astrophysics to qualify. All you gotta do is donate $25 to Passage, a nonprofit project working to bring science education resources to Latin America's most underprivileged communities. You can enter as many times as you'd like to increase your chances of winning. Be sure to visit our webpage to view the official contest rules and share this video with an aspiring astronaut. Consider this one small step for you here on Earth, toward one giant leap to Mars.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the next in our fundraisers for the Passage platform. It's been a really exciting few months as we've raised, well over $15,000 now for this incredible program. So we're going to go around the room, say hello to everybody, let everybody give kind of an introduction. But first, for people that may not know, because we're on a couple of new pages tonight, let's go first to Lee Giat. Lee, let everybody know what it is we're up to, why this is so important, where you came up with this amazing idea, and how people can get involved.
Yeah, and thank you, Ron and Stardom, for hosting us once again and helping us spread the word for this project that we are really excited for. We have an amazing team of science communicators, and of course, we have a special guest with us, a few special guests with us this evening. And Passage, it's an acronym. It stands for Providing Aid in Science for South America's General Education. And what that is, it's a 30-day flight. I'll be flying an aircraft, a small cargo plane named the Spirit of Science. We're going to be conducting experiments, and the big thing is we're bringing thousands and thousands of pounds of science education resources to the schools that need it most throughout the Caribbean and Latin America. And regions that you can't really reach with, big jets and actual cargo planes. So we're going to be filming the entire thing in a feature documentary premiering at Kennedy Space Center on June 18th, 2022, which you do have the opportunity to join us at. The people in this stream and many other amazing science communicators will be there. So we're not only making the documentary, but we're making educational videos in Spanish, in Portuguese, in Creole, and French, and helping kids succeed and giving them that little boost of confidence, that push that they need, and of course the supplies that they need to pursue careers in STEM and figure out what they want to do and how they can improve their communities. So, things now with COVID, we're seeing a huge shortage in doctors. That's kind of the big thing that we've seen in recent months. And of course, half the population throughout Latin America, adults, can't perform basic multiplication and basic math, and it's going to be a huge problem as we STEM into the future, quite literally STEM into the future, especially with space and new medicine and new tech and all of these innovations that are happening across the globe is kind of falling behind throughout Central America, throughout the Caribbean, and throughout South America. So this is going to be a huge project that I hope is going to make a big difference, and it already has, thanks to your help. So we'll talk more about how you can help, but let's get into the amazing discussion that we're going to be doing tonight, which is skepticism and its role in science.
Awesome stuff. So before we go around, we are actually streaming out to a new platform tonight, thanks to Rob. So Rob, let's hook everybody up. Blairdom. There's obviously 95% of the people watching right now are on your incredible platform, Blairdom, where I think you have something like 250,000 followers. You do a really amazing platform. For those that have never seen the amazing work that he does, you can check it out over on Facebook. I've done an interview with him, which I know was extremely challenging because I talk fast and I say a lot, and he live translates everything that you say. So I'm sure he had a headache for 3 days after, so thank you for being awesome. But if you want to kind of give a breakdown for folks that don't know and tell them a little bit more about what you do, and also if you want to give an explanation of what's going on tonight to your Spanish-speaking folks as well.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you again for having me here. And I do need to say that the last time I was here, I was super nervous, and my English is not too good, but I will try to do my best to explain myself, because I do it in Spanish and I do it very well, but I will try to do it in Spanish. And yes, we're now in my Facebook page and we're having lots of comments in Spanish. Tenemos muchos comentarios en español, y pues es parte del proyecto que tiene Lee. Entonces recuerden que Lee tiene un proyecto que se llama The Spirit of America. Entonces, el espíritu de América es para brindar apoyo y soporte para las comunidades más alejadas de la ciencia, ¿verdad? So, and now in English, in case you don't know the Facebook page Glaretum, so the Glaretum Facebook page has a main objective, that is to spread the science throughout the astronomy. That's our main objective. We have a team of 8 people. We try to do citizen science too. We try to do chats in presential. Well, before the COVID-19, we always try to do the presential things. And we also do interviews. This Saturday, we're going to have Deep Sky Dude. I have seen that he's posting over there. Will John, we're going to talk with him, and the other Saturday we're going to have Sebastian Boldmer. I don't know if you have heard of Sebastian Boldmer. He's the one that took the picture from the eclipse in the 2017. There was you can see the corona. Well, we're going to have him, but like I told you, our main objective is to get to people to know astronomy, to get to people to know science through the stars. We always try to share pictures about the Milky Way. We always try to share pictures about the planets, because we think that the love comes throughout our eyes. If they see something beautiful, they were going to have questions about it. How do you take those pictures? What is that? What is going on? Why is this point doing here? And throughout those pictures, we have been involving people to understand our universe. So that's one of the things that we do. We have 5 years. We almost have like 300K followers here, and que se los agradezco mucho. Tenemos muchos seguidores, and that's about it. We're doing many things next year. We're going to implement a new program, like I don't know how to say in English, but it's not like a Muppet in Spanish. We're going to try to do the news, the astronomy news, and the space news throughout a puppet. So that's the new project that we're going to have next year, and lots of interviews for people to know people that are doing science communication, astrophotography, and astronomers. So that's our main job, or main thing that we do here in Glaretum. Y pues, a little bit in Spanish, ya. Y pues nada más expliqué qué es lo que nosotros realizamos aquí en Glaretum, ¿verdad? que nosotros pues tenemos la oportunidad de compartir fotografías de astronomía, también compartimos mucho las noticias. De hecho, acaba de llegar la Chang'e, just a little bit, like a couple hours, acabamos de compartirlo. Entonces, esa es nuestra actividad principal y pues queremos que se queden aquí. Por eso estamos comunicando con Ron Sparkman, con Lee, para que conozcan más que astronomy is not about languages, astronomy is about the humankind. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Sorry, we've got a bunch of folks that are joining the stream, so I'm just trying to get like everybody in here. So it took me a second there. Sorry about that. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And so obviously we have a huge panel tonight, and there's we're going to be in deep discussion about something pretty close to all of us. So Lee, I'll let you start off that discussion and kind of guide that around, because if we ended up doing introductions for all 10 people that are currently on here, plus the ones after this, it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning and we will get nowhere. So let's just go ahead and get that started off. And then whenever you jump into the conversation, feel free to add a quick introduction, a little bit of what you do and who you are. I just want to give Rob there just a little bit of extra love for letting us stream out to his page tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Giat, hit us.
Yeah, and I guess when everyone's answering their questions for the first time, just give a little quick introduction of who you are. Of course, everybody wants to know, I guess, what your background is and what experience you have, whatever background you have in STEM. So I know some of us do have to leave within the hour, so let's go ahead and start our conversation. Today we're talking about skepticism's role in science communication. If you were at Stardom's stream last week, we talked about flat earthers. I went to the Flat Earth Convention last year to make a documentary, and I interviewed the founder of the international conference. And it's interesting how people get skeptical of things and then fall into a rabbit hole where they end up in like some sort of extreme. And I think today and in times like this, we're talking about the COVID vaccine. And I guess whoever wants to start off is, why are people skeptical of the vaccine? Of course, I mean, it makes sense why people are skeptical of the vaccine, but, this is a new thing. And how would you, I guess, explain to people who don't want to take this vaccine, just using basic science communication? How would you tell someone who would not take this vaccine that this could save many, many lives and potentially just end this whole thing, in a matter of a few days?
Lee just lobbing the softball out there. So anybody want to take that to start? Aaron, I'm going to point to you first.
Oh, gosh, why? Okay.
That's right, throwing you under the bus.
Oh, my gosh. Well, actually, I was thinking about this earlier, and in particular with this vaccine. I know that within the Black community, there is not necessarily a huge skepticism, but there is sort of a remembrance of what has happened in the past with history, in that I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Tuskegee experiments, where was it around the 60s? I can't remember the time that it happened, but essentially they lied to a group of Black people and said, oh yeah, we're giving you this vaccine for I forgot what it was, but it ended up that they were giving the people syphilis on purpose to see what had actually happened, or what would actually happen when somebody's infected with syphilis. I am not doing the best job of explaining this, but please look it up. And I've noticed that within the Black community, there are a lot of references to that incident when people are talking about the vaccine, and they're like, oh, well, no, I'm not going to take it first. I mean, look what happened with the Tuskegee incident. So with that, you are creating this skepticism by basically from a bad event in the past. And one thing that science communication does is it exposes the truth of the science that is happening and how it affects people and all that. So I think that if you as a communicator are making sure to make the science relatable, make sure that everything is clear, make sure everything is understandable, then you don't necessarily create the skepticism that's based out of missteps that have happened in the past.
And Aaron, while we got you for a second, give everybody 30 seconds. Tell everybody the cool stuff you do now that you're Magneto, and like we're talking about you helping us like use rovers at the Discovery Center with kids' minds and stuff. You do all kinds of crazy stuff. So let everybody know what's up.
Yes, so I am a robotics engineer by day, and I am a Magneto by night. I create a lot of devices that you can control with your mind. I plug those into robots, electromagnets, lights, whatever I find is interesting. I'm basically trying to take over the world. So yeah, that's who I am. That's what I do.
There's a few people currently trying to take over the world, and we find you the most likable, so we will allow it.
That's what happens. It's always the ones that you like. You got to watch out for.
Joan says, Magneto, can you bring the dog back? You can take over the world as long as you have just a tiny little puppy that you can sit on your lap and just do the little pets and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Can I pet him? Like,
Get a pet. Look how cute he is, though. Hey.
Yeah, that's like going to take over the world with the puppy in my hands.
That's all you gotta do, man. That's all you gotta do. And the sweater, of course. The sweater's, baller. So, again, the question is, we're talking about how do we get through to people that have difficulties wanting to accept that that there's a vaccine out now, there's just. This is going to be a game changer for the world. I can't believe it came out before the end of the year. That's kind of nuts too. So, and we're going to start seeing, there is already a report of exactly one person has had a bit of a allergic reaction to it. Nothing is 100%. This is something that is still important. And anyway, Lee, what I'll do is I'll go to you and see if there's anybody in particular you want to drive this piece of the conversation to. Anybody in particular? I don't know if that's working or not.
I mean, we have so many amazing people on tonight that I definitely want to hear from.
Probably should have got a doctor
but
on.
I'm sure
It's probably what we should have done. It would have been. We should have got like Shauna on or something.
Yeah. So if you don't know Emily Calandrelli already, you probably will. She is definitely on her way to. Well, she's not on her way. She's there. She has a Netflix show. She's an amazing science communicator. But yeah, she's on her way to take over the world in terms of science communication. She's brilliant about approaching the topics that she talks about. So Emily, I want to go to you. And I know when you gave a talk, I think it was last year at my university, you were talking about baiting the hook for the fish or something. I think you can explain that better, but that concept in science communication stuck with me. So I wanted to see if you would want to elaborate on that and how important that is in a time of crazy uncertainty.
Yeah. And I think I would just basically echo everything that Aaron said. The first place you have to start is that lots of people's mistrust is valid, and you have to be able to recognize that and be empathetic to that. The other thing that you can do, and in the talk I said, bait the hook to suit the fish. And it's a term that's mostly used in marketing circles, but I think science communicators can benefit from it as well. And it means to speak to the interest of your audience, talk about what they care about, not what you think they should care about. And being able to listen to them is how you find out what they care about, how you find out what their fears are, what their hesitancies are, and then you can try to go from there. But science has shown that throwing facts at people is not the right way to change people's minds. Listening to them, making sure that they feel like you are a source of friendship or a source of open communication, someone that they can go to with concerns, is the most important thing. Because if you don't have that, there's no science communication that can happen, because no communication can happen. So with anything that has to do with science, I think empathy is the place to start. And when it comes to coronavirus, I try to look for the experts and lean on them, because this is not my area of expertise. And so looking at looking through various science communicators who specialize in this stuff is something that I have been doing. And I have a sister-in-law who's getting her PhD in, I think, neuroimmunology. And so she has been using her platform to translate all of this stuff that's going on in the pandemic into language that people without a background in science can understand. And it takes so much work to do that. And I see my parents and my extended family all commenting on her Facebook. People, I mean, I come from West Virginia, and in West Virginia, it's not, yeah, I hear you, Ron. It's not, we have our own issues when it comes to science because of cold and climate change and all of that. Yeah. And so, I mean, being able to have someone like my sister-in-law who is willing to spend that energy and time to translate that for them, it makes such a huge difference. So when we can have more people like that take the time to do that and be empathetic about it and really listen to people's concerns, I think we're going to move in the right direction.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Lee, we'll go back to you. Okay, so before we get too deep into the hole here, we got to let everybody know. Wait. Oh, poor Aaron. Aaron said GRUPO, West Virginia, and he's mad because he's in Clemson, and the reason why is that WVU just scored on Clemson again. So if you don't remember that game where we absolutely obliterated Clemson, it was something like 112 to like 14. So he still gets a little sad about it when he hears it, and I just reminded him about it like last week sometime. So I mean, we'll never forget, and it's okay. We still love you, Aaron. You can always leave there and go to a better school like WVU in West Virginia if you need to. You have 2 great recommendations, man. We got you covered.
I don't know about that. Hey, you know what? The sad thing is, no amount of national championships or prominence in football will erase that moment from history. Like, I still feel the sting of that. And I didn't even go to Clemson at the time.
I was going to say, you weren't even there yet, were you?
No, I wasn't. So
that was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, Lee, we haven't really talked too much. We got to talk about the fundraiser, what it is we're doing tonight. And in particular, some of the cool things that people can be involved in. We have a wonderful panel to talk about so many different things, but let's get some details and let people know how they can be involved and also how they can possibly be part of that Mars mission that we got coming up. Ooh, my fingers are tingling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so here, I'll put the helmet on to explain this one. So, it's this way. It's backwards, so I was like, oh, this is the right way to do it. But yeah, so we are giving away a week stay at the Mars training facility in the Mojave Desert. Mars is the Mars Moon Astronautics Academy and Research Science. So that's the organization that we're partnering with. Thank you so much, Susan, and everybody who's involved with that. And yeah, it's a real astronaut training mission. You'll get a certificate that certifies you as an analog astronaut, and you'll get to do everything that an astronaut gets to do. So that's for $25. Every time you donate $25, you'll be able to get an entry to do that. And guys, the odds are pretty good because not a lot of people have applied for that. So definitely consider donating. Consider donating multiple times because it all goes toward a good cause. 100% of every donation goes toward Passage. It's a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. And of course, Ron has all of the other rewards that you'll be able to get. So access to our documentary, master classes where we're going to be talking about different careers that you can pursue in STEM and how to take those first steps. The t-shirt that I'm wearing right now also you'll get, as well as personal video shot in the air over South America, patches, tickets to our Kennedy Space Center. Ron, I don't know if you're controlling that, but if you could scroll down, there's some more stuff. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Yeah, and there's just events that you can join us in, even the flight on our scientific research plane that we're going to be actually conducting experiments over Latin America and accepting submissions from schools all around the world. So that's a talk for a later time, but give us your money. It's going toward a good cause, helping schools and kids throughout Latin America succeed, pursue careers in STEM, and you get some cool stuff. So you literally cannot lose.
Wonderful. I mean, it's the list. It's a laundry list of cool things. Like CVS is jealous right now of the length of that list. It's amazing. And Lee, you've put together some incredible stuff here. So obviously, we're talking about science and skepticism, and we're also. It's also, so if folks don't know, one of the best things about any live stream like this, and I talk about this every time, is that the private chat is always hysterical. And right now we're talking about sports ball. This is not technically the group that wants to talk about sports. So we're like, do the thing, score the points, yay sports. So it's just humorous that, you have all these brilliant minds. And not all of us, I'm not saying everybody, but me in particular, I don't know a thing about sports. So, but Clemson still was just, like, I'm going to go cry after this, Aaron, just for you. Lee, I'll let you take it and put us in the next direction for the panel, because we absolutely did not coordinate before this to discuss what the questions were going to be. So this one's all on you tonight, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a few things to talk about. So we have, of course, skepticism in science and science communication, just helping, I guess, everybody that's watching just learn how to communicate science better. So science communication really is, you have, I'm sure anyone that is in a STEM degree or pursuing a STEM degree or in a science class in general, those professors that just speak a foreign language, they're talking about stuff that they're experts in and you have no idea, they just expect you to know all these things. Then you have people that don't know really much about what's going on. So my background is in astronomy. I've done astronomy stuff and planetarium shows, and people don't know that, like, we didn't land on Mars yet, or you can see certain things with the telescope. So science communication is that bridge right in the middle. So I think a safe thing to do for now is just talk about how everyone in this group, I think we can go to Héllen next, because she is a science communicator, an amazing science communicator. She got me, someone who was failing math in high school, to get involved in astronomy and learn everything that I've learned up until this day. So I think Héllen, talk about the work that you've done. You're a teacher as well. And I guess, how would you get people interested, people like me, into science communication?
So, first of all, even though my bachelor's degree is in pharmacy and I also study mechanical engineering, I end up working in science education and science communication. So I found the Fox Observatory, where I end up making friends that could understand what I say. Not just talking about sports or cars or shoes. It's like stuff that never made sense for me. But I always talk about science because both my parents were scientists. So in my case, what I get to actually get to the first step to get my public at Fox Observatory, it goes from 3 years old to 103 years old. So it's a very diverse public. So you have to kind of figure out how you're going to communicate, depending how you get there for them to understand. So if I have a little kids, I sit down on the floor with them and I become, instead to be the science specialist, I'm becoming messy experiment specialist. And the observatory director doesn't like that. And so I like to explode stuff and make a mess. And so this is kind of make it fun. And then you, behind the fun, behind the mess, you put the science concepts. So I brought here one of the examples of what I do at Fox Observatory. I use a simple Slinky to explain lots of things. So when you say something makes no sense, oh, this doesn't make sense at all, it's because you have to explain to your public that human senses are very limited. So if you just talk about our eyesight, now is even worse because I'm using glasses, but we are blind species. We barely see. So if you think about the whole spectrum of light would be this Slinky. The only thing that you see in the whole spectrum of light is actually one curl of the whole Slinky. So it means that there's way much more stuff that is invisible for us. And then in that case, you have to explain with a simple analogy how you make something make sense, even though you cannot use your senses to capture that message. So I like messy experiment, make a mess, and, hug the kids and scream and, explode things or scare them and, do like all the pranks all the time. And then the fun part is see the kids like with the eyes that they don't blink, paying attention to what you say. And then you see the parents do like this. When the parents do like that, it's when I love to have fun like that. So now going back to my background, because I was doing that, because I was kind of what the other guys in the observatory say, I translate gobbledygook. So because I was doing that, getting the real concepts of science and explaining to kids of 3 years old, so I could translate the equations, something very complex, in a simple experiment with a slinky or something like that. So because of that, I end up being lucky enough to get to invite to do 2 missions for NASA. So that's why I'm wearing a NASA jacket as the real
Yeah.
with my name and tag. So I went to the strat. So my mom forced me to put the second flag because I have double nationality. I'm national of both countries. And here's my 2 patches from my 2 missions. So I went to the stratosphere on Sophia. Sophia is an airplane, but more cooler than the airplane, that airplane goes to the edge of space. So you have airplane 1, space 2. Now, what makes even more interesting about that airplane is that it has a 17-ton telescope on the back of the airplane. So you get airplanes, cool, astronomy, cool, and space, cool. So you put all them together, and then the space station, the space shuttle, all the programs on NASA invite teachers. So when they invite teachers to participate from the missions, they put on the wings a book. So as you can see, my wing has a book. So in that case, that shows that if you are a science communicator, if you are a teacher, pay attention what NASA, NASA Night Sky Network, all the other programs have to offer, because they're always looking for teachers to translate the science into a manner that's easy for the kids. So I have more than 1,000 kids, and I'm proud of all of them. Lee is one of my kids, so I'm proud of many kids. So I have kids doing physics, I have kids doing astronomy, I have some of my kids are doing odontology and becoming teachers of your odontology. So I'm proud of what a simple thing that, I'm exploding things with slinkies and simple things in the observatory and end up explaining the science with analogies to, get people to go to college and do amazing things. And I'm very proud of you.
I'm not crying, you're crying. So, Lee, I believe you want to go to Jorge next to talk a little bit about the amazing work that he and his crew doing. Is that correct? We're just going to circle here a little bit.
Yeah. So let's quickly jump let's jump to Jorge. Let's talk about he's another amazing science communicator. If you saw a video on the Passage Facebook page earlier, I think it was either this week or last week. He's done amazing work with getting kids interested in space and rocketry, just with basic stuff, really impoverished communities, just getting excited and like seeing all those kids run to, chase the water bottle rocket. Is so cool. So we're definitely visiting Barranquilla, the town that Jorge lives in and has his program, GRUPO APOLO. So talk about that program at the airport as well. The airport is something that's really cool over there. And just that history too. So take it away, Tato.
Oh my gosh. You know what, guys? I'm really nervous, but at the same time, I'm very excited. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, everybody, to share with you all the ideas we have to do in Barranquilla. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jorge Salazar, but everybody call me Tato. It's not tattoo, it's Tato, T-A-T-O. Tato, so feel free to call me that way. My friends, my colleagues, my family, everybody call me Tato. I'm from Barranquilla. Barranquilla is located in the Colombian North Coast. It's the place or the city where Shakira was born. They say that Barranquilla is the happiest city in the world, and I think it is. But also I think that Barranquilla have that issue, that trouble, because every time people are thinking that Barranquilla is the happiest city in the world, and every time we're more and more happier, and then we forget all the troubles we have. And I think this is a real problem we have in Barranquilla. But well, I'm a science communicator as well. I'm a TV producer, and also I'm the Latin American ambassador for Cubes in Space. The Cubes in Space program is the project that I'm really in love with. I felt in love at the first time when I knew this program, because it's the only program in the world that allows students from 11 to 18 years old to design experiments and then send into a flight into NASA rocket. It's a really cool project. I love being part of it. And it's kind of a poetry revenge when you see students that one day were maybe attending a water rocket workshop, and several months later, they are sending experiments into a NASA rocket or balloon. I really love this project for this. I also want to take advantage to invite you guys to Barranquilla, Lee, everybody of you, because Barranquilla, there are a lot of work to do. Trust me, in Barranquilla, in Colombia, in Latin America, teaching science is a really huge effort. And that's what we do in Barranquilla with GRUPO APOLO. GRUPO APOLO have a big mission, and we need more Grupos APOLO, another nonprofit organization like GRUPO APOLO. And our mission is to get people involved about STEM fields. We want to inspire the next generation of explorers through the education, through astronomy, through the grandeur of the universe. That's what we really want to do. But I think also we more than being a non-profit organization, I think GRUPO APOLO is a big community of space fans, a big community of geeky friends who wants to change the world. I have a lot of friends. I have many friends that they want to live in another country and become professional in another country or city. And of course, that is completely respectable. But I think one of the purposes we have in GRUPO APOLO is trying to change the reality we have in our city, in our country, in Latin America. I'm also one of the TV hosts of educational TV program that is called Escuela en Casa TV and Radio, Escuela en Casa Radio and Television, that it was created as a response from the government to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was too sad when we see the statistic and we realized that almost the 90% of our students didn't have access to the internet. And they didn't even have access to the internet. They didn't have even mobile devices to get connected themselves. And it was really, really, really sad. And one of our best outreach programs is Estrellas en la Playa. Estrellas en la Playa, at the first time when I was involved about astronomy, I used to go with my friends by the sea to stargaze by the sea, because we live really close to the sea. And I remember when I was a child and I was on vacations, I used to see the moon reflected on the water. And for me, it was really beautiful. That portrait for me was magic. And by that time, I realized that I wanted to be what I do right now. I wanted to become what I am right now. But I don't want to expect all the kids have to suffer the same that we have to suffer. GRUPO APOLO have that mission to is that part of our purpose to let this world be better than it is right now. I know this is very difficult, but if we don't do this, who else is going to do it? I remember that time where we were doing a water rocket workshop in a very poor place in Barranquilla. We invited one of the most popular digital influencers in Barranquilla. His name is Javier Santolaya. And everybody was really impressed of this invitation. I mean, we're a nonprofit, but we're not a rich nonprofit. And it was a really huge effort for us inviting to Javier Santolaya to Barranquilla. And we were just having fun, doing water rockets, and we thought it was going to be another water rocket workshop, until one of the students, he could be 11 or 12 years old, asked something simple but powerful. And pay attention to the question. They asked something like, how do we make the wings? they were referring to the wings to the water rocket. How do we make the wings? And I said something like, it's simple. The only thing that you have to do is draw a triangle, cut it and glue it. And you know what? They didn't even know what was a triangle. It was really amazing that a person of 11 years old or 12 years old, they didn't know what was a triangle, a simple shape. And I was really, at that time, we really realized that we have a really big commitment with the community. We didn't want to be the nonprofit that hosts the biggest astronomy party in Colombia, that is Estrellas en la Playa. The first time we hosted Estrellas en la Playa was with 20 or 30 people. The next time we hosted Estrellas en la Playa, there were thousands and thousands of people by the sea. But we don't want to be remembered the nonprofit that went to host the biggest astronomy event in the Colombian North Coast. We really know at that time that we have a huge commitment with the community. We want to change life. And that's why I'm telling you guys, if you go to Barranquilla, you won't regret of that. We really know that this anecdote, that the triangle in a very poor place, neighborhood in Barranquilla, is the X-ray of the educational situation in any other place in Latin America. So there are a lot of stuff to do here. And for me, it's a huge pleasure. And thank you, Lee, and the rest of the panel to be here with you, sharing this passion I have with you. Thank you so much, guys.
You don't really sound all that excited, Jorge. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you sound like really down energy about all the stuff that you do. That was awesome, man. Seriously, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And you have a ton of fans in the comments, man. It is hard to ignore how loved you are for what you were doing. So, Emily, we know that you have to go. So, Lee, I know that you probably want to say a quick thank you to her and kind of bow her out. And Emily has to, I guess, go completely restock her store probably for like the 6th time this week already, since she already sold out like the first hour. So, Lee, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, I mean, Emily is amazing. Thank you so much for being here and for just supporting what we're doing. For those of you watching that don't know, me and Emily, we did astronaut training in Russia together, and that's kind of how we became friends, if I can call us friends. Hey, it's a cool story. But yeah, thank you so much. We all look up to you. Everybody does. And admire your work and your merch, which I'm waiting. I got in at like 35 minutes after you launched, so I just missed it. But yeah, I guess anything you want to say, anything, how do people find you? If they haven't
and of course, we are best of friends. I don't think you go to Russia and train like a cosmonaut and leave not being friends for life. So absolutely. And I'm so proud of you for this effort, all of you for doing this. I mean, raising $15,000 is nothing to shake a stick at. I'm so bad with phrases. I think that's a phrase, to shake a stick at. It's really impressive. You guys have done a really good job. And I think congratulations to Morgan. Morgan, did you just become a PhD candidate? That's that's so incredible. Thank you. Congratulations. That's huge. But yeah, so thank you for having me. I'm sorry that I can't stay longer. My daughter came home and she goes to bed in like an hour and a half, so I need to get some cuddles in. But it's good to see you. Everyone can find me at the Space Gal online. My Netflix show is Emily's Wonder Lab. And yeah, my merch will be restocked in hopefully mid-January.
Thanks again, Emily.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
And, I think Lee, next you wanted to go to, I don't know if it was Ms. or Mrs., right? And that was adorable. I love the kids came in to say bye. It's like, Emily's on your left. But yeah, I know, I don't want to say it wrong, whether it's Ms. or Mrs., but we're glad to have you on. Lee was mentioning a little bit before that you're doing wonderful work as well. So we'd love to hear a little bit of your story and what you're working on.
Sure. It is Mrs. Wright. And I'm an English teacher, not a science teacher here in Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if I'm if I'm the right person to be in this group, I was connected with Lee through a mutual friend. I work at a public school here in Puerto Rico in a very poor area on the north coast. And what we were hearing about Barranquilla in Colombia, a lot of that is true here where I live and work too. We're so lacking in math and science education here. The kids are behind. They're behind, and we don't have. It was like the guy from Colombia. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Was saying the kids here don't have or didn't have until recently access to devices. They didn't have access to the internet. Just at the end of November, the kids in my school received laptops, and the little ones are still in the process of receiving tablets. And actually tomorrow in my online class, I'm going to be teaching my students how to use their computers because it's so new to them, they don't know what to do with it. So yeah, I'm not sure what else you would like to know about my situation here. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, so I think, so Mrs. Wright, so the reason is there's pretty big news about the Arecibo Observatory. Oh, someone's calling me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I know I've had some Puerto Rican colleagues and friends reach out, and I guess how is that? That was like the one staple that Puerto Rico had in science, and
yeah,
I guess is there a priority in Puerto Rico to get it back up? Are they struggling? What's the situation?
I would say that the people here, the population is very anxious to get the observatory rebuilt or in some capacity up and running. It'll have to be completely rebuilt because it collapsed. They had a cable snap and part of it collapsed, and then they had the rest of the center of the bowl collapse. There's a petition going around to the people are crazy signing to pressure the government to invest. But I don't know if any of you know, the government of Puerto Rico is flat broke, and unless there is some sort of private investment or serious fundraising, I can't imagine that the government's going to be able to come through with the millions that they'll need to rebuild.
Yeah, something that we're seeing a lot with, I guess just the research that I've done and with a couple of folks that have been kind of behind the scenes with Passage is like that's the biggest problem. It's just the investment. There's no, here in the States, we're lucky. We have, many nonprofits and many programs that get kids and people involved in STEM and science education and of all ages, really, just getting, the kids, getting them prepared, people around my age and they're, in their teens and 20s, getting them educated, and then the adults just making sure that there's an investment there and that there's a priority that R&D and moving forward and innovation is like something that holds communities together and countries together. So it's unfortunate to see what we're seeing, and I hope that Passage becomes that one thing that slowly brings it back up, and so if anyone's watching, definitely donate. The link is right there. And thank you, Mrs. Wright, for your insight. And is there anything else you want to add, I guess, just about your school, about your kids? I know we talked previously in a Zoom call. Your mic is off. There you go.
About the observatory, in years past, I've gone with coworkers and students to visit the observatory, and it's been closed since the hurricane in 2017, so we haven't been back. But it's a sad thing that was something that inspired kids. It made them curious. They had a great little sort of a discovery center attached to the observatory, and I don't know if they'll continue to operate that in the future or what'll happen, but I'm really excited about your visit here. I think that it'll be great for our community because the kids need something to spark that curiosity in them, something that'll set their minds on fire and make them want to want to go further.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Wright, or
You're
Mrs. Wright. Thank you for being here. Okay, I think next weekend we have a new visitor here, taking Emily's place, Sarah. Sarah, is she online? There she
Sarah's
is.
here. Sarah's with us.
Yeah.
We overbooked just a smidge. I think there's actually one other person that might have a link too, so I think there might be somebody else that may join us later. I feel like there's one more person, and I don't know why. And I'm like, there's somebody that's just sticking in the back of my head. But Sarah, welcome. It's good to see you.
Hi, thanks for letting me in.
And she said that she's here honestly because she wanted to get involved in the behind the scenes chat, which is a big thing. I think that there's going to be. I want to write a book one day about the private chat that goes on because it's always so funny. So obviously there's a few people here that we haven't really dove into what they do yet. So Lee, do you want to lead that? You want me to flip a coin? Which brilliant redhead do we go first?
Yeah, I mean,
Me!
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm like a daywalker. I've only got it in my beard.
Well, let's go ahead and talk to Morgan. Morgan just had some pretty big news today. That's really excited. We're all really exciting. We're all really proud of her. So Morgan, I would love for you to talk to anyone aspiring to pursue a PhD. I know I had that idea, and after failing calculus 9 times, I decided maybe it's not the best idea. So I think how would someone go about pursuing a PhD? Talk about the stuff that you do. Of course, the launch that just happened recently, and what you're all about.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Morgan. I'm a PhD candidate at Cornell University in the field of soil and crop sciences, and I'm very happy to say that I'm a PhD candidate because today I passed my A exam or qualification exam. So for a PhD, you have these examinations that you go through where you start off as a PhD student, and then you go through this qualification exam or an A exam where, depending on your committee and your requirements of your field, may require you to write a proposal that details out your research for the rest of your PhD, giving a presentation in front of your entire department, as well as going through a question and answer session with your committee. So I wrote the proposal, I did a presentation in front of my department, and then today was the 3-hour Q&A session with my committee where they were pretty much testing my knowledge of fundamental soil science, soil chemistry, microbiology concepts related to my research. So it's something that I've been studying for 2.5 years pretty much. So it's very exciting to now be able to call myself a PhD candidate. So yeah, with my research, I pretty much do soil biogeochemistry. To break that up, so soil biology, looking at microorganisms, the things living in soil, the geology, the mineralogy, really looking at the physical element of the soil, the organic matter in the soil, what makes up the soil, and then the chemistry of it, where you have all of these interactions happening on the chemical level. And it's very important because soil is a part of our everyday life. 95% of our food comes from soil. So it's very important. And we're also seeing a lot of issues currently, especially in the agricultural industry, with soil degradation or soil getting to the point where it can't really support plants or biodiversity anymore because it's just been intensively worked on, where it can't hold like the nutrients that the plants need to be able to grow in that kind of environment. It's a fascinating field. I really enjoy working in soil science. And pretty much the space element of my research is when I was an undergraduate at Duke University, I started doing space agricultural research, where I was very much interested in how we can potentially grow plants in places like Mars and other extreme environments. So it definitely has the Earth applications as well as the space applications. And I decided to eventually pursue a PhD in soil and crop sciences because my research was taking off. I really, really enjoy the science that I work in. And with the PhD, it provides an opportunity for you to narrow down your focus. If there's something you're really interested in, a PhD allows you to do that. So I'm very much interested in pretty much how organic carbon, organic matter interacts with soil minerals and how microbiology is involved with that. So having a PhD allows me to have the freedom to really design my own experiments and be able to work in the lab and focus down on these questions that I want to ask and find potential answers. And where skepticism, going back to our topic, where skepticism works in a PhD is that you always have to ask questions and you always have to look at the data. So you could have a researcher say, oh, this is how a system works, or this is how microbiology interacts with this element of the soil. And you have to ask yourself, well, let me look at the data. I have to see data that supports your hypothesis to be able to see what you're saying and get an understanding of what's actually happening in the system. So you always have to ask questions. You always have to be skeptical and look at the research and see what the data is telling you, whether it supports a hypothesis, a research question, or doesn't. And you also have to have researchers also perform pretty much the same experiments to see if they get the same data that these other researchers got, or if they get different data. And this allows you to be able to pretty much validate what's happening with the science. So if you have this research question that you're looking at, and this researcher did an experiment and they got these data points that support their hypothesis, and another researcher is like, I'm not sure about that. Let me replicate your experiment, perform your experiment, and see if I get the same kinds of results. And if I get the same kinds of results, that actually validates the data that I was looking at, and the results and the conclusions you were drawing. But if I get different data, something's happening here, whether it's having to deal with the methodology that was used, or just the way that the system or the results were interpreted. So skepticism is very, very important in a PhD. And it's something that I use on a daily basis when I read research papers and do my own research, is always question everything and always look at the data and see if there's data supporting hypotheses and conclusions. And by doing that, we can better understand and really get to the heart of why biological systems work the way that they work.
And I feel like I remember something happened recently with like the International Space Station or something.
Yeah,
like that. I don't know if there was. I don't know if that's a big deal or not for you, current PhD candidate. That's something with the ISS that you're working on. So if you want to tell everybody about that a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. So back in October, I was down at Wallops Flight Facility off the coast of Virginia, which is about midway down the eastern coast of the United States. And I saw my soil science experiment launched into space to go to the International Space Station. And it's still currently up there right now. It's returning in the next couple of weeks back to Florida and then coming back my way to do analyses. Yeah, so this is the first time that we've actually launched natural earth soils and biochar soils into space. So we're very much interested in understanding if gravity is part of these underlying mechanisms of how microorganisms interact with the mineralogy and organics in the soil, and how this affects aggregation, or how the soil clumps together, and how that affects the carbon or the organic matter in the soil as well. So pretty much with science and this fundamental research, you're always looking at things in a mechanistic way, meaning that you're looking at pretty much how does this microorganism allow this soil aggregate, this clump of soil, to actually be held together. We know that the microorganism creates this organic adhesive like glue, and that it adheres to this soil aggregate. But what is that mechanism? What is that mechanism between the adhesive and the soil mineral that allows that organism to stick? Is it like glue, where we see a chemical reaction happening? Or is it more like Velcro, where like even now, I love just peeling back Velcro. And these are the kinds of questions that we're asking. They're mechanistic questions of like, what is happening? What steps are being taken to allow the microorganism to react this way to soil? So it's very exciting, and it's a dream come true to see my experiment on the International Space Station. And I'm really hoping to have future experiments on the International Space Station and potentially on Mars as well, and on the moon as well. So I'm hoping to really contribute to food security here on Earth as well as in space. And I'm hoping to do that not only through my research, but through my company, Deep Space Ecology, that I founded back in 2016, and with whom I'm the chief science officer of. So it's all very exciting work.
Amazing stuff. Lee, any thoughts on that? Anything that just, I know that not a lot happened just now. Morgan wasn't, between Morgan and Jorge, the rest of us would just be like, well, okay, I'll just be over here and just chilling, so.
No, I mean, it's insane. The fact that Morgan has been able to, to have the opportunity to do that, and, potentially have opportunities to do the same thing, on the moon and Mars. I mean, it's I'm sure in her mind, it's like, what? Like, did I just do that? So yeah, super cool, Morgan. We're proud of you. And yeah, I think we have to move on to our other redhead,
okay, so
Julie.
Here's the one thing I want to plant this flag real quick. Julie, wait until you tell everybody the laundry list of stuff you do before you tell them how old you are, so that way they won't just immediately just be like, I'm done with my life. I'll be over here. Just wait for that part. Tell it all first, so you're already gonna, trust me, you're gonna feel really like, I can definitely be doing more than what I'm already doing. And then you'll hear her age and you'll be like, fine, be that way.
All right, so I'm an inventor, a scientist, and a science communicator. So I've sent experiments into space, actually through the Cubes in Space program that Jorge mentioned. I actually met him through the program, as well as a bunch of other amazing people. That program is just such a good program. So I've sent experiments into space. I have done multiple inventions. So like with the X Prize competition of the Next Gen mask, I got into the top 10. They still have not announced the finalists yet. That was supposed to happen a couple days ago, but they have, like, who won, because I didn't get in the top 5, but they haven't announced that yet. As well as I got into I was the New Hampshire State Merit Award winner for the Young Scientist Challenge with 3M and Discovery Education for a water distillation filtration system. Of course, I have other inventions that I am still trying to work on as well. For my science communication, I do my own YouTube channel called 7 Sage Labs. On that, I have multiple shows: Supernova Style Science News, The Steam Shop, Sage Lab Notes, Sci-Fax, and then I'm also planning on starting a 5th show called Science Sage. And yeah, so I do a whole bunch of stuff. That's just short list, and I'm 16 years old.
That's
And I am
always the
16 years
kicker
old.
part that I always like, and I'm 16 years like, what? I'm done.
Yeah, well, one thing that
Morgan hops in with redheads for the win.
Yes. Yeah, one thing with my science communication that I also try to do is to talk about how and show that anyone can do science. It's not like with enough determination and hard work. Oh, my mom just commented, sorry. But with enough determination and hard work and some help in the right and finding opportunities and things like that, you can do a whole bunch of cool stuff. And it really, a lot of it is hard work. It's a lot of hard work, practice, things like that. Lots of learning, of course, as well. So it's really anyone else. Like, anyone can do science, and that's one of the things that I try to show and to teach people is that anyone can do it. It's not like, oh, you have to be born a genius, many quotation marks, is that anyone can do it if you want to. Like, just really takes hard work.
Agreed, for absolutely anybody and everybody, and that's kind of a big piece of this. We have so many fantastic folks that are on here tonight that are all working as hard as they can. You get through what you can. Lee mentioned we've talked about it before. I think one night we had it that if you put everybody on the panel together, folks had failed pre-calculus and calculus something like 17 times between all of us. And there was a few people that
half of which is mine.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not giving up on that. So, well, one thing that we're talking about in the private chat here is that, Rob was kind enough to let us stream on Glaredom tonight, and that is a Spanish-speaking channel, and we haven't been able to really do that. So, what I want to do is I kind of want to go around to anybody that that would like to share what it is that they're up to in the Spanish language. I know that we have probably half of our panel that can do that. That wants to share either what they're up to, their passion for space and science. And Rob, if you want to give them just a little bit of a breakdown, like of kind of what's going on. So I know some people are probably confused because, like I said, there's a lot. I'm going through the Facebook page and just clicking see translation, and a lot of like, can somebody translate? Can somebody translate? Can somebody translate? Can somebody translate? So I thought that way maybe we could give 15, 20 minutes time, if it's okay for you with you, Lee, to share to that awesome group, since this is kind of the goal of the people that we want to connect with. So
of course.
So Rob, we'll start with you, good sir, and then we'll kind of go around. Aaron, do you speak fluent enough Spanish that you can also
Magneto.
He's laughing, but he's not sure.
Yo puedo intentar.
I don't know what that means, but we'll go to Rob first, and then I'll let anybody else translate that for me and tell me what you just said.
Ok, muy bien. Pues bueno, pues muchas gracias. Digo, parte de lo que nos dice Ron, estamos viendo muchos comentarios que dicen que los traduzcamos y que hagamos la propia traducción al español. Digo, este programa que está compartiendo Ron y Lee, pues se llama Passage, The Passage Science. Así se llama. Y todos los que estamos aquí en este foro, pues somos parte de ese programa y queremos llegar a la comunidad latinoamericana. Sabemos que hay muchos que no hablan inglés, pero vamos a tratar de involucrar a más personas. Por aquí, por ejemplo, aquí hay una persona que es de Puerto Rico, por ahí Brasil también. Entonces vamos a estar compartiendo un poquito. Y pues si tienen preguntas, si quieren que les expliquemos un poquito, pues con gusto lo podemos hacer. Por aquí estaba viendo nos están siguiendo de varias partes de Latinoamérica. Y pues si alguien quiere comentar, ¿quién de aquí habla español?
I'll take that as you were done. Well, okay, so while we actually have...
I was asking if somebody wants to know. I was trying to share in Spanish, for example, Jorge Salazar, que yo creo que habla español, ¿no?
Jorge, you're muted if you want to unmute yourself.
Sí. I'm here to help.
Te preguntaba que si querías compartir un poquito también, Jorge. En español.
The same thing as earlier, Tato.
Yeah.
Just in
Okay.
Spanish.
In Spanish, yes.
I can be the translator. It's okay to me. It's okay for me. I can be the translator.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Let's go to Héllen then. In the meantime,
Okay.
Héllen speaks like
Hola.
5 languages.
Yo soy un poco más fluente en español de que las otras lenguas que yo hablo, más puedo comunicarme en español. Yo soy una comunicadora de ciencia en el Observatorio Fox, porque mi trabajo con educación en ciencia, yo fui convidada a la NASA para hacer 2 misiones en el Observatorio Sofía, que es Observatorio Estratosférico de Astronomía Infrarroja. Está muy difícil para mí pronunciar. Entonces, yo tengo 2 nacionalidades, entonces hablo español, hablo inglés y portugués. Mi abuela dije que no hablo portugués más bien. Entonces, me fui llamada a 2 misiones. Los peches las 2 misiones que me fui. Entonces, lo que Sofía hace es mirar el cielo en infrarrojo, que es una luz que nosotros no vemos. Entonces, tú puedo decir que cuando tú tienes que tener un pensamiento científico, tú tienes que recordar que la mayoría de las cosas, especialmente con tecnología avanzada, la mayoría de las cosas que nosotros hacemos en ciencia es muy complicado para los sentidos normales de un humano entender esto. Entonces, para mí, explicar, clarificar la ciencia, yo uso analogías. Entonces, analogía o analogía. Entonces, una de las explicaciones que hago mucho en el observatorio es decir que nosotros humanos somos prácticamente ciegos. Nosotros no vemos casi nada, porque si tú piensas que toda luz que viene en la Tierra es el tamaño del slink, solamente una curva de esta que nosotros vemos. Entonces, la mayoría de la luz que viene en la Tierra para hacer astronomía es invisible al humano. Nosotros vemos un tiquitito de la luz. La mayoría de la luz que llega a la Tierra es en radio, en infrarrojo, ultravioleta. Entonces, es una luz que es invisible. La primera cosa que tú puedes hacer para experimentar con lo invisible, pega un control de televisión y apunta para tu teléfono. Tú puedes ver la luz invisible. Si tú aprestas, mira con tus ojos, tú no ves la luz infrarroja. Más cuando tú miras con tu teléfono, tú puedes ver la luz. Entonces, la tecnología que los usamos hoy para hacer ciencia es una tecnología que permite con que lo invisible se queda visible para nosotros entendermos la naturaleza.
Beautifully said. It sounded great, and that's all that matters.
She was accurate. She was accurate because I heard in English and I heard in Spanish, and she was accurate what she was saying.
See, look.
Sí, estuviste bien, sí.
Roberto's he's like the Simon Cowell of.
I don't think he would be Simon Cowell. I think he would be the Paula Abdul, because he's just really kind.
Paula
Because Simon
Abdul
was rude.
Spanish translation.
Yeah, he's like, no, that was beautifully said. She did a great job. No, that definitely would not be
for
Simon.
me.
Jorge, do you want to share your story with us next? I know that you had to get some. So Jorge was having a bit of issues with headphones. He couldn't really hear us earlier, so now he's got some in.
Yeah.
And so you want to share your story with us, same as earlier, just to Rob's amazing audience that he's allowed us to stream onto his platform as well tonight.
Sure, guys. Sorry for that. I had a trouble earlier, so I would like to share my story in Spanish. And I would like to do it. Ok, mi nombre es Jorge Salazar, les decía antes, pero todos aquí en estas latitudes me llaman Tato, no Tato de tatú, sino Tato de Tato, todos mis amigos, todos mis colegas, mi familia, me llaman Tato. Así que si pueden llamarme así de ahora en adelante, sería completamente maravilloso. Hago parte de una fundación, la Fundación Grupo de Astronomía APOLO, aunque nos dedicamos también a todas las áreas STEM. Nosotros nos dedicamos a inspirar a los jóvenes, sobre todo en la importancia que tiene la ciencia para el desarrollo social. Yo pienso que el pensamiento crítico y el conocimiento sobre el universo, sobre la Tierra, es algo importante que todas las familias deben conocer. Nosotros en el Grupo Apolo hacemos muchas cosas, entre esas una actividad que es muy conocida en nuestra ciudad. Yo vivo en Barranquilla. Barranquilla es la ciudad donde empezó la aviación en Latinoamérica. El primer vuelo comercial en Latinoamérica was here in Barranquilla. The first commercial airplane was here in Barranquilla. Shakira was born here in Barranquilla. Shakira nació aquí. Y hacemos muchas cosas, y Estrellas en la Playa es el evento de astronomía más grande que convoca más personas en toda la costa norte colombiana. Pero nosotros no podemos quedarnos solamente con que seamos la fundación o el non-profit que convoca a más personas para hacer un evento. Pienso que estamos aquí llamados a transformar vidas, a cambiar realidades, a cambiar la situación que tenemos acá. En Grupo Apolo tenemos muchas personas y muchos voluntarios que quieren migrar hacia otras ciudades, hacia otros países para cambiar su situación profesional, y por supuesto eso es respetable. Pero nosotros estamos aquí, nosotros en Grupo Apolo, en Barranquilla, en Colombia, en Latinoamérica, para cambiar la situación que estamos viviendo aquí de alguna manera. Recuerdo, y nunca jamás se me podrá olvidar, un día que estábamos haciendo un Water Rocket Workshop, un taller de cohetes de agua, e invitamos a Javier Santolaya, un divulgador científico digital muy conocido, y estábamos en una comunidad muy, muy pobre, y en esa comunidad estábamos haciendo un taller de cohetes de agua, y para nosotros era otro taller de cohetes de agua. Por supuesto, lo estábamos pasando divertido, muy bien, pero un niño dijo, ¿cómo se hacen las alas de los cohetes? Nosotros, es simple, solamente tienes que dibujar un triángulo, tienes que recortarlo y pegarlo a la botella PET. Esos niños de 11 o 12 años, 11 or 13 years old, no sabían qué era un triángulo, no sabían cuál era una figura geométrica tan sencilla como un triángulo. Esa situación, como el triángulo, es la radiografía de lo que sucede no solamente en Barranquilla, por supuesto, o en Colombia, sino lo que sucede en Latinoamérica. Niños sin acceso a internet, educación y, por supuesto, tampoco a dispositivos móviles. La invitación para ustedes, ojalá todos ustedes pudieran llegar acá para que podamos cambiar esa situación, esa realidad que nosotros vivimos, porque estamos convencidos que si un país quiere salir del subdesarrollo y tiene aspiraciones serias, por supuesto, de desarrollo, tiene que invertir más en ciencia, en educación, en tecnología, en aportes tecnológicos, y eso que ustedes, guys, llaman y conocen como STEM. Si queremos ser desarrollados, tenemos que invertir más en esos rubros, y por supuesto, la visita de ustedes a Latinoamérica va a ser el punto de partida de muchas cosas positivas que van a ocurrir. Muchas gracias. That's all, Fox.
No. That was great. That was what I was to say. Yeah, that was not. I was not trying to do to him what I do to you, Lee. I was just trying to make sure that I'll just leave Lee up sometimes. He just doesn't know that it's coming, and he's just like, I don't know what's going on. So, is there anybody else that kind of wants to share? I don't want to like jump over anybody. Morgan, you probably speak like 13 languages, so I wouldn't be surprised if you had that ability too.
Let's get on Morgan. Yeah, Morgan, go.
Morgan.
Not putting you on the spot. If you don't, you don't. Because go ahead.
No, I haven't done Spanish since high school, so it's I wish I could do it. I'm definitely like in the process of picking it back up. So
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
¿Dónde está el baño?
There's like all the little pieces, you know. So
Yeah. Hola, me llamo Dora.
Hola, hoy es miércoles.
No, desean escuchar lo de Puerto Rico de nuevo en español, que yo sí puedo.
I think I caught you only at the end, Danielle.
Es un acento muy bonito.
Muy bien,
de
muy
Puerto
bien.
Rico.
I offered to, if you want, I do speak Spanish.
Do you want to share what, the awesome work that you do where you're at in Puerto Rico with
If
with
you'd
everyone?
like, yeah.
Yeah, the stuff from earlier
Okay,
too. You can
okay.
repeat everything in Spanish.
Sí, saludos. Yo soy maestra de escuela pública en Puerto Rico, en un pueblo en la costa norte de la isla. Mi escuela está ubicada en un lugar bastante pobre y como mencioné ahorita, puedo hacer eco a lo que dijo Tato sobre Barranquilla, que hay como un déficit de conocimiento, una falta de conocimiento de ciencia, sobre todo aquí en Puerto Rico, y sobre todo una falta de dinero para invertir en programas, que el gobierno de Puerto Rico está en bancarrota y tienen a la educación como en segundo plano de poca prioridad, que es para mí como educadora exactamente lo opuesto a lo que debería ser. Estamos emocionados que viene ese programa, el Passage, para acá, para mi pueblo, a ver si eso inspira unos futuros científicos aquí en mi isla. Gracias.
Excelente, excelente.
Awesome.
Well,
Excelente.
Yeah.
Rob, you want to give your Paula Abdul?
Thank you.
How did you do?
Jorge said like twice. I don't know why. It's like a deja vu for me, like hearing twice his speech. But he mentioned about a person his name is Jorge Santolaya. I don't know if you know him, but Jorge Santolaya is from Spain.
Javier Santolaya.
Javier, perdón. And this Monday was talking with Sasha Sagan. I don't know if you see the YouTube channel. Yeah, and Sasha Sagan was speaking in Spanish. So for us and the Spanish people, it was great because she did the 110% to reach the people that we don't speak a lot of English, because all the science that we get is in English. Okay. So it's sometimes difficult for us science communicators to get the perfect data to translate in Spanish. For in many words we can do it transparent, no problem. But when you're using technical words, you need to be very very careful for what words are you going to say to get the people the right communication. So this Monday we were, I don't know if you knew that we had an eclipse in Argentina and in Chile, and also the NASA shared a stream in Spanish. So this is very, for us, I mean, for me, and especially from a personal opinion, it's very good because it's like a binding thing, or because I know that we speak English, but most of Latin America don't speak English, but sometimes it's difficult. So they can try to reach the English speakers. Okay, so that's one of the things that I try to, I don't know how to say, to eliminate the boundaries of the language. That's why I try to invite people that are not Spanish speaker, and I try to translate as much as I can, so they can see that the science is not about languages, it's not about boundaries, it's about the humankind trying to answer the same questions in different parts of the world. That's it. So I just wanted to mention that what Jorge was saying, because it's very important for us. He said it twice, and it really is very important for us that she shared a time with Sasha Sagan. Sasha Sagan, the daughter of Carl Sagan, is like, wow, in Spanish. This is great.
She's an incredible communicator. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I know somebody did said something there.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's such a good point, and that's something that we're hoping to do with Passage. Once we get closer to our fundraising goal, we're gonna start reaching out to Hispanic science communicators, and a lot of our team does speak Spanish and various different languages, and reaching out to French, Creole, and Portuguese science communicators to have content created in native languages to the places that we're going to. And I bring this up, I think, every stream, but Mac, if you're watching, he's one of our highest donors on the GoFundMe, which, by the way, is right here. Go check this link out, click it, go visit our fundraiser, watch our video, and help us reach our goal. But Mac, he said that, imagine learning everything that especially science, something that's really kind of technical, through translations and subtitles, and knowing that you're just second, there's no priority set for you. So, I'm on Duolingo. I grew up in Miami. I have a little bit of a step, but I'm not near fluent in Spanish, but hopefully we'll get there. But yeah, I think it's super important to have content created and just science communication in, to people that may not have that, direct access. So, that's a really good point, and I'm so glad to have you guys here, helping to bring this important cause to the kids that need it. And now Ron's doing that thing where he's leaving it on, and it's just my screen.
Nope, I wasn't doing that to you. I just wanted to make sure that you were done. I didn't also want to cut you off on the opposite side of it. So I know that we have about 25 minutes left or so, and obviously everybody's doing a lot of awesome stuff. So Lee, I thought it might be good for you to give give everybody a breakdown one more time of what it is that we're doing here tonight, how people can be involved, and then we can go to each of our folks for their final thoughts for tonight, and where people can find them on social media and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and we definitely got to go to Sarah too. I don't think we touched base with Sarah.
That's exactly. I was literally just looking at it when I said that. I'm like, we definitely got to do that too. Whatever, Sarah. She's like, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh wait, Sarah, are you in your trailer right now?
I am.
Oh, I thought that was a building for a second. I was like, wait a second, what's that on the ceiling?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida, and you didn't tell me?
Well,
we could have done a COVID
side. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, now I'm just disappointed.
I'm sorry. Well, no. So I thought you were in Texas.
I was, and now I'm back where I belong.
Well, I'm down at Fort DeSoto right now.
Okay.
And then probably heading a little further south next week, impromptu. And then heading back up to Illinois.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely we'll get to your story in a second, because I know you're doing something really cool. But to everybody watching, click the link down here. We're giving away Martian astronaut training. You can spend a week in the desert learning how to do astronaut training. Some of us in this live stream have done it. I did a version of it in Russia. You'll get to eat space food. You'll get to live on Mars for a week for only $25. You'll get entry into our contest, which you have very good odds of winning. We're giving away 6 of these spots for real analog astronaut training. You'll be certified as an analog astronaut by MMARS, the Mars Moon Astronautics Academy and Research Science. So if you want to eat astronaut ice cream for a week and wear one of these every time you go outside, click the link right over here. And there's definitely a lot of cool stuff that you'll be able to win. So everything and anything helps. 100% of the proceeds go to our Passage schools. And Yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. So, Sarah, I guess we'll go to you. As everybody is busy clicking the link right here, tell us what you're up to. I know you're traveling across the country.
Yeah. So, just to put into the context, so I have a teardrop trailer, so that's what I'm in right now is my teardrop trailer. It's just kind of it's like a big bed on wheels, and it has a kitchen that's outside in the back. And it's kind of fancy. It's glamping, I guess. And yeah, I'm just traveling the United States, trying to share and learn as much science as I can along the way. And the first stop right now was Florida. So I'm down at Fort DeSoto, and actually, I don't know if my internet is cutting in and out or not, but I guess there was a tornado like a half an hour north of me, and I had no idea until about an hour ago. So, oops. So everyone is safe here. I don't know. I guess there was some damage up north, but yeah, and I'm traveling, and I have kind of all my logos stuck on the back of my trailer, and yeah, hoping to kind of go from coast to coast throughout the next half a year or so.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So where can people find your work and what you're doing?
Well, you can find me my website is spacekSarah.com, and then all my social media is basically spacekSarah. And I am hoping to also like document a lot of what I do just through a YouTube channel, or I'm on TikTok too, like those youngins. And yeah, just sort of learning and sharing science, because I honestly don't know I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what was all discussed in Spanish earlier. But I'm definitely the science skeptic representative here, because I was raised in a very anti-science upbringing, and so coming into adulthood and having kids myself, I started learning more about science, and just my mind was blown. And so now I'm just sort of on this like mission of Carl Sagan to spread and share science everywhere I go. So
what got you into science? How did you make that
yeah, I watched the Cosmos series.
That giggle sounded a little ominous. I'm not gonna lie. You're like,
well, yeah, no, Carl. I watched Cosmos for the first time, and I was raised, and Lee and Ron, we've talked about this a lot.
Sure have.
I was raised in a young Earth creationist environment, so like the first episode of Cosmos, I was like, what is all this information that I've never heard before? And I just was sufficiently blown away. And I've just fallen in love with science, and just have been on this like adventure ever since. And I went back to school, and I've been taking every science class you can possibly think of. I'm hoping to get my master's in something. I'm not sure what yet. And yeah, I also did sidewalk astronomy, and that has been just transformative in sharing science with people and just blowing their minds. Because I think you said, Lee, right, that that people don't even know, like, or I'm not sure if it was you, Lee, like if we landed on Mars or not. I had somebody once tell me that Venus was farther away from the sun than Earth, and it was cold, and I was like, you don't know anything. So it's really fun to just like share science with people in a really easy to digest way. And sidewalk astronomy opened my eyes to that, and I've sort of been like evolving into a different form since. So
all right, Goku.
So now
this is my final form. I love that. And Desiree says, I love your mission of Carl Sagan.
Yeah.
What's your mission? My mission is to Carl Sagan. And we're nouning him now, I believe is what we just did. And that's completely fine, because everybody knows exactly what you mean.
And hi to Desiree and Rush, who are watching this. They're my friends from Illinois. So I almost said New York. I used to live in New York. But anyways. Hi, Russian guys.
I understand that Aaron is going to attempt his breakdown in Spanish of what he does. Are you ready for the challenge, Aaron?
No, yo no sé si estoy listo, pero yo voy a intentar. Buenas noches a todos. Yo me llamo Aaron. Mi historia es que yo nací aquí en los Estados Unidos, pero mi abuela se nació en Panamá, entonces soy orgullo latino. Bueno, soy estudiante de ingeniería y también me gusta construir robótica. Más me gusta creer tecnología que se puede controlar con la mente usando esta EEG device. Yo soy como Magneto, el Ron siempre me llamó Magneto. Bueno, a mí...
I understood that one.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you got that. Bueno, a mí lo más importante en el mundo es divulgar la ciencia y también creer más, crear más confianza en el proceso científico. Entonces, por eso me gusta hablar especialmente a comunidades de color y enseñar lo mágico que es ciencia.
Muy bueno.
I was getting emotional, because I'm reading the comments too, and there's a bunch of people that are talking about how excited and proud they are of Sarah. So I was reading those while I was also trying to listen. So I'm trying to hear, because I don't understand the language. I'm trying to hear what I think is going to be the wrap up of a sentence, and then I'll be reading something and be like, oh. And we lost him just barely. I was going to say Jorge had to go, and I was going to let him say goodbye real quick, but Jorge had to leave us. But Aaron, we'll go back to you. I know you were getting ready to say something there.
No, I was done actually. I was just doing a brief spiel, just introducing myself, the things that I do. Gosh, now my mind's thinking in English and Spanish. Como yo dije antes, mi misión es crear más confianza en el proceso científico. Entonces me gusta enseñar, divulgar ciencia a todas las comunidades, especialmente las comunidades de color. Y por eso yo me ajunté con la misión de Passage, porque a mí es lo que necesitamos hacer para resolver los problemas técnicos del mundo.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. So we have to go to our resident, to our resident judge, Rob. What do you think? How did he do?
He did awesome. He did awesome. I don't know why you didn't want to speak in Spanish, but you did very well. And that's one of my struggles. When I try to speak English, I'm always like, this is in Spanish, this is in English. What do I do? Spanglish. See? So, so thank you for sharing in Spanish. I don't know I know that it's difficult for everybody to try to speak in another language. So thank you for everybody that is speaking in Spanish. Gracias a los que compartieron en español. If you don't know Spanish, if you want to reach the Spanish community, I can help you out without any problem. I can invite you to our show, to this Facebook page, and I will do the whole translation. You don't need to worry about which words in Spanish, which words in English. I will do that thing. Okay. So thank you.
And I believe you said that, Morgan, if you want to do just a little bit, maybe a little synopsis, and Rob said that he'd be willing to help out, and we've still got plenty of time, so that's up to you two. If you all want to go back and forth on that one for a little bit, and Morgan, you can kind of share your story. And Rob is very, very good at it. He, like I said, if he can do it for me, he can do it for anyone.
and you have to think about Ron, because he's speaking 100 words per second. So hi, my name is what?
Yeah.
That exactly.
Yeah, do we want to do a little bit?
Poquito, you can try just a little bit, like a trailer.
Yeah.
Coming next summer.
Next week. Morgan Irons.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Morgan Irons. I am a soil scientist and graduate student at Cornell University.
Sí, yo estudié en la Universidad de Cornell. Estudio la tierra.
And my research looks at food security and soil biogeochemistry on Earth as well as in space.
Soil chemistry, it is about...
Yeah. Pretty much the biology, geology, chemistry of soil.
Ok, entonces yo estudio lo que es la biología de las plantas. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And one of my recent experiments was actually sent to the International Space Station.
Y uno de mis experimentos ya se fue a la Estación Espacial Internacional.
Yeah, and I'm hoping with my research that I will be able to help build an agricultural system on Mars.
Y espero que con mi experimento podamos lograr crear un sistema de agricultura en Marte.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And, okay, thank you very much, Morgan.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Well, again, I mean, I think this is a perfect time. I think we did a pretty good job of this. So we're just going to give everybody a minute to kind of go around and say your final thoughts. Anything else you want to share with us, where people can find you on social media. And at the end, we'll let Lee give everybody one more quick breakdown where they can find out more details about the cool things that they can be involved in whenever they donate to Passage. It's not that you're just donating, but the chance to go train like you're on Mars. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. So Rob, since you've been sort of a bit of the co-host for this last hour, let's go to you and let you have your final thought. And again, feel free to share in both English and Spanish if you would like.
Okay, thank you, Ron, and thank you again for inviting me to this whole thing that is one of the greatest things I have been known about. So thanks for having me the opportunity to meet all this incredible panel that we are here. The teacher from Puerto Rico, Colombia, Morgan, Aaron, and I think in the youngest of their panel, that is inventor and everything. Nice to meet you. My name is, if you want to reach the Spanish community, you can feel free to send me a message and I will try to help you out to translate all the things. And one of the things that we do in Glaretum is try to bring the science throughout the astronomy. You can find what do we do in Facebook page that is Glaretum. We have Instagram. We also have a radio show every Sunday. Where we talk about all the news about astronomy and space. That's where our science communication is. We try to be more accurate in that program. And we have the other program that is to bring people from all about for different parts of the world, so they can share in Spanish. We try to start a new program this next year like I told you in the beginning of the program, we want to reach the kids, because the kids are the next generation for the youngest people that we work, because I have 8 people, so they are between 18 years and 21 years. So those are the ones that are going to help us out trying to reach the community. So just not to wait to take more time, you can reach me there, and that's about it. And muchísimas gracias a todos los que estuvieron aquí en la página, y pues vamos a dejar a que los demás estén compartiendo. And that's my English is starting to collapse.
Starting to blend again, that Spanglish again. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
So thank you again, and feel free to send me a message. Thank you.
Oh, and one more thing, Rob, if you can just say one quick thing for me, is that thank you to everybody that it follows on your page. There's a lot of people that followed through the English-speaking part that had no idea what was going on. So thank them for their patience, and also if they did stick around for the second hour, which people did, so that way they could hear a little bit more. Just as a thank you for them, staying with us for a while.
Sí. Digo, nada más dice Ron que muchas gracias para todas las personas que estuvimos aquí. Digo, estábamos hablando en inglés y luego estábamos hablando en español, y gracias por quedarse hasta la segunda hora en donde ya pudimos compartir pues ya en español, ¿verdad? Y les agradezco bastante a todos los que estuvieron con nosotros. Sigan a cada uno de ellos. Please follow all the people that has been in this panel. Síganlos, busquen sus redes sociales, apóyenlos, porque pues sí hacen muchísimo trabajo muy padre. I just said in English so they can reach you in your social media, so they can follow you, so they can subscribe to your YouTube channel, and so they can be in touch of all the woodwork you're doing.
You are the man, sir. So next, Lee will leave you for last, so let's put him down here. Whap! Well, maybe if it'll let me do it. There we go. Sarah, let everybody know one more time, kind of, you mentioned a little bit earlier, just where you're at, what this cool thing is that you're doing, where people can follow you on social media and the TikTok and all that stuff, while, China's stealing all your information, those TikToks. I'm on TikTok too, so I can't say anything. I don't do anything on TikTok. I just watch TikTok. And I'm like, take all my data you want, because this is so awesome and addictive. But Sarah, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, you can follow me at spacecasesarah.com, and all my social media handles are on there. And I'm just traveling the country, sharing science, probably enjoying it more than sharing science. And I'm just really excited to be a part of this Passage project and helping Lee. I think he's just awesome and had just this brilliant spark of an idea that's just, I think it's captured so many people's imaginations. And so I'm just so thrilled to be a part of this. So that's all. I just support Passage. Yeah.
Agreed. Smash that donate button. So, Mrs. Wright, we'll go to you next. Again, anything that you want to share, if there's ways that people get in touch with you, if you want to share all the awesome stuff that you're up to, and again, feel free to do it in both English and Spanish if you would like.
Okay, sure. I just want, as a final thought, everyone to think of those things in school that were the most memorable. And if you think really hard, it's the things that are out of the ordinary. It's the visitors from outside the school. It's a special event. And that's what this would mean for my school. Every dollar that you give to Passage will make a difference in our community here in Puerto Rico. So be generous. It's something exciting for my kids, for my students here, just to think about this coming. So, en español rapidito, si piensan en lo que fue emocionante o lo que más uno recuerda de la escuela, son los eventos que están fuera de lo ordinario, la visita de gente de afuera, y quisiera animar a todos a ser generosos con los donativos, porque el Passage será eso mismo para mis estudiantes aquí en Puerto Rico. La visita será algo bien fuera de lo usual y algo que va a provocar a mis estudiantes, a los nenes de aquí, considerar ir más allá de lo normal, de lo diario, y quizás crear en ellos el deseo de tener un futuro en la ciencia. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Like Rob's doing that. I love you. She's like, yeah. Helen, we'll go to you next and let you share about, again, the awesome work that you do, where people can find you on social media. And yeah, I'll let you go.
Okay. So I'm gonna send here on the side so you can post for everyone to see. This is our Facebook page our Facebook page. So I'm Helen. I am at FoxObservatory. So we are closed because of the pandemic, especially because most of our members are in the risk age. So we need to wait for them to get vaccinated so we can open Fox Observatory again. So because of that, we are kind of doing the same thing that we are doing before, opening every Saturday for the public, but now we are doing online. So we have 3 people in the observatory every Saturday, and we are doing a Zoom session. So if you want to be part of our Zoom session, you go on our Facebook page, the one down here, and then you can log in and look for the link on the post. We don't leave the link visible because of web crawlers, but if you click on see more, you can see the link from the Zoom session, and you're welcome to participate. Or Zoom give us 100 paces for you to watch what we are doing. So normally we are giving news about science, and then we give a lecture. So last weekend we have a lecture about 3D printing, especially using that to do models in space. The lecture that I gave before, like 2 weeks, because it was too long, so we split in 2, was about archaeoastronomy. So you get archaeological sites and archaeological material and see how long humans, and even before the Denisovians and Neanderthals, were doing astronomy. So we talk about anything, like a bunch of astronomers just playing around on Zoom and talking again, geeking out. But when I say geek, they don't like. So the word that we use at Fox Observatory is we are polymath. So if you don't want to be called geek, nerd, or dork, the word for you is polymath. In Espanol, polímata. In Portuguese, is polímata too. So as we are polymath, discussing science on our Zoom sessions. Now, for you guys here in our presentation together, if you want to be part of it, or if you want a special presentation, and because I am able to present in Portuguese and Spanish, if you want a special presentation just for you, talk to us, go through our Facebook page, and you can ask us to prepare something and give a month, and we put together, a Zoom presentation, and we open for your public, especially for the teacher. Any teacher, if you wish, the people who are watching here, people who are part of it, if you wish for us to give you a class, it needs to be on Saturday. So talk to us, we prepare some material specific for you. And because we have material to actually show experiments, we have cameras, we point out the experiment, explode and make a mess in the observatory. So on Sophia, my mission on NASA, as an educator, as a mission specialist, but at Fox Observatory, I'm messy experiment specialist because I explode and make a mess there, and then the observatory director has to clean up. And for you guys here on our Zoom session, if you're here in Fort Lauderdale, contact us. Even if we're closing for the public, we can do just for you, just a little tour. We are not open for the public just yet, but whenever you want, you just contact us, and we find a way. And then as soon as we are able to open, it's safe for everyone to be able to visit places, because you remember, you're in your observatory, you're putting your face in the eyepiece. So that is a huge risk for the coronavirus. So we need to wait for the whole, 70% of the population to be vaccinated for us to be able to be safe enough for us to see, because you're touching some object that the next person in line is waiting to do the same. So it's a huge risk. So as soon as we can open, we're going to post on Facebook, and you're all come, and we're probably going to do a big party about that. But if you want to participate, if you want a class just for you, if you want us to prepare material just to specific for your public, contact us and we can do something, as long as it's on Saturdays.
Lovely stuff. Thank you so very much. Is there anything, if you want to quickly share in Spanish with anyone, if you want to, before we move on, you're more than welcome to, or if, let me know. If not, we'll go to
Rob can try to translate, because I think he didn't like very much my Spanglish.
Oh, I did love it.
Okay, thank you.
It was great.
All right.
Then, right?
But you can kind of translate and say, Mira, si tú eres una profesora o un profesor que quiere un maestro o una maestra queriendo una presentación especial para tu clase de ciencia, o no necesitas hacer una clase de ciencia y quieres que el Observatorio Fox haga un evento especialmente para ti, contacta a nosotros en nuestra página de Facebook. Nosotros podemos hacer un evento solamente para ti online. Tiene que ser los sábados, porque cuando nosotros estamos abiertos para el público. Si tú quieres un evento especial, puedes agendar con nosotros, que nosotros podemos hacer algo y conversar o que nosotros debemos hacer. Si tú quieres solamente conversar con nosotros, hacer una conversa, tú puedes, comunicar a nosotros o participar de nuestro evento los sábados. Va a Facebook, la página de Facebook, que tiene el link de Zoom para participar de nuestra conversación.
Perfecto. Perfecto.
Perfecto, sí.
No es muy mal. Yo estudié español en mi escuela. Yo pienso que ahora estoy perdiendo porque hablo más en inglés de que español. Entonces mi español está quedando decadente.
Yeah, well, my English is bad. Pero está bien el español.
Your English is not bad at all. No, it's not.
Si tú quieres que yo haga parte de algún evento que tú necesitas, de un comunicador español, pues mostrar el equipamiento del observatorio, contar a nosotros en el Observatorio Fox, puede hasta hacer una comunicación junta con nosotros en los sábados, porque nosotros no cobramos nada, es todo de gracia porque no somos una non-profit. Entonces, podemos hacer algo en conjunto.
Perfecto.
And just I want to say something real quick for those of you that may be listening in that definitely, certainly this last hour we've been doing a lot in Spanish, and maybe you haven't understood any of it, like me. Realize that there is the majority of the world speaks, other languages other than English, and this is what they basically have to deal with all the time, something that Lee mentioned earlier. And that's something that, one of the reasons that it's very important to Lee, the same way it is with our friend Mac, instead of having to watch something and then read the subtitles, or have somebody like Rob who's kind enough to translate for us. This is something that is very extremely important that we can get more and more out there to as many languages as possible. And I know it's cool to see the crossing lines and the technologies here. I mean, they were showing it like last year. Now there's an earpiece that Google has where you put an earpiece in and put it in the other person's ear. You say something and it translates it for you. The future. Welcome to Star Trek. And I love that. I just think that's the coolest thing in the world. But we're not quite there yet. So it's awesome to be able to kind of share this tonight and also highlight that a little bit. If you are confused by what's going on, welcome to the rest of the world. So Morgan, we'll go to you next. And then we've got Aaron, and then we'll wrap up with Lee, and one more little jolt to the system, of course, for giving that money. What?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at astroecologist. I'm also on Twitter at astroecomorgan. I post about my research, so you get to see inside the lab at Cornell University. You get to see when I do traveling, like when I went down to Wallops Flight Facility to prepare my samples and see them launched to the International Space Station. So I do a lot of my science communication through social media. I'm also on Facebook. You can just look up my name and I'll be there. And you can also visit my company's page, www.deepspaceecology.com, to see what we're doing as well. And I'm actually, this winter season, I'm going to be putting together my own personal website where I will be providing updates about my research, descriptions about all the projects I'm working on, as well as having a blog where I will be talking about pretty much the state of the science, as well as how you can get involved in your own research, developing your own research. tips for going to college, graduate school, things like that, things that I've learned through the process. So look for that in the next month as I finish putting that together. But yeah, feel free to follow me, follow my company, so that you can learn more about the world of soil science.
Awesome stuff. Aaron, where's the puppy? It's very important. And Sarah's being attacked by a rabid raccoon. That's what we're finding out right now in private chat. She's not kidding, by the way. She's very scared right now.
These raccoons are so bold.
I've never met a raccoon that wasn't bold. I mean, being West Virginia, South Carolina, just that area, I'm just like, what are you talking about? That's what raccoons are. I mean, do you have a different kind of raccoon? I saw that video with that guy feeding like 50 raccoons. I'm like, he's not gonna have a face and he's gonna have rabies. What in the hell is he doing? Stop sharing this. People are gonna think that they can do that. Don't touch possums. Don't touch raccoons. Stay away from them. And don't think bears are cute because they're crawling across a fence. What are you doing? Stop it, Facebook. But that's where we're at right now. So, Aaron, I'll calm down a little bit and I'll go to you.
Oh, no. This is great, man. Like you said, raccoons and here squirrels too. Like they literally come up to you and they just look at you like, yeah, what's up? What you want? But yes, guys, if you want to, let me back up. For those of you who don't know, if you missed the entire chat, my name's Aaron. I build a lot of cool robots. I also build devices that you can control with your mind through Cogito. I have been dubbed by Ron as Magneto, and I am trying to slowly but surely take over the world with my puppy in tow. He's not with me. He's outside the room right now.
I think we should call you Magneto, because you're the man.
So,
it's Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. By the way, where was he before the Return? Because I was around in the 90s, and I never heard of Mark Morrison, and it's not even his name, which confused me. But anyway, well, that's a different show.
But yes, guys, science education, science communication is so important to me. It's so important to everyone here. When we're talking about the concept of skepticism in science, I think a lot of it is due to miscommunication or misunderstanding of what science is and what the goal and what it's intended to do. So with that, y'all, please, if you have the chance, check out the Passage page, smash that donate button, give Lee all of your money so that way he can travel across Latin America and provide opportunities to students who otherwise wouldn't have them. Bueno, en español, por favor, si puedes donar a Passage porque la misión es crítica y es muy clave en crear una, I can't remember the word. Es muy crear un mundo mejor. So yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely awesome. And sorry, go ahead, Rob. Rob just like, more Spanish, yes.
Yeah. I'm very excited. When you say in Spanish, I was like, yes, that's right. You're accurate. So it's just exciting.
Yeah, it's so interesting because especially like it's been mentioned earlier, science is something that is primarily taught and learned in English, and so when talking about science, doing it in Spanish throws my mind for a complete loop, especially when I start getting into more technical topics like robotics and controls and computer programming. I'm like, wait, no, how do you say loop gain in Spanish? So it's definitely a challenging process. And one thing I really like about the mission of Passage is it is helping to dissolve that barrier to get more people across the world into science and just interested and dialed in and plugged into what the magic that science can do. So yeah, guys, donate to Passage.
And on that note, I think we're done. I mean, I don't think there was anybody else truly important on here that we wanted to hear from or anything like that. So
you go find that raccoon if you want to talk to that raccoon.
The raccoon.
Is he the one from Guardians of the Galaxy or something?
The raccoon, Lee.
I think the raccoon is.
Lee, go ahead, my friend. And quick thank you from me to everybody for coming on tonight. All of our panelists, you all have been amazing. All through the night, we've had so many wonderful people on, and it's been an awesome experience. I'm so glad that we were able to have some of this in Spanish, because I think this is the first time we've done 30 to 40% of the show in Spanish too, and I do know that Lee and I were talking about it, and he's planning on doing one that will be fully in Spanish, which will make more sense for the Galeritum crew. But I know that this has been amazing, and so Lee, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Ron, for hosting us once again with your platform. Thank you to Roberto for allowing us to, I guess, open up to the Hispanic community online. And gracias a todos por mirar. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I hope we can do a full show in Spanish one of these days, and I guess start making that transition. And of course, like Aaron said, breaking down that barrier. And if you didn't know this already, in aviation, around the world, if I were to fly to Latin America or anywhere in the world, because aviation was created here in the United States, in North Carolina with the Wright brothers, all air traffic control operations around the world, every radio communication is done in English, mainly just because of that. And it works for aviation because it's a universal thing, and I guess it's just a barrier that people have to cross whenever they want to fly in different countries or get into aviation. But in science, it's very much something that doesn't need to be universal. We need to have content and discourse, communication happening in every country, and to the level that we do here in the United States in English. And we have to start that conversation and get STEM really going in Latin America in terms of the education with the younger crowd, and the industry with people who are in their post-secondary education, and in the industry, anything really. I mean, here in the US, we're talking about sending people to Mars. Meanwhile, there's very little agricultural work being done, and energy work and medical. There's no drive for that. There's no I guess push for that sort of thing, and investment in that sort of thing. They just cut in Chile. There was a whole revolution about this year cutting education just because there's no money for that, and it's a shame. So we're hoping to start a movement with this project, even though we're just a bunch of people in the US. And I mean, we have a team from around the world, but even though we're just a couple of people, we can really start this grassroots movement of providing science as an opportunity for anybody who wants to be involved and to make a difference in their communities and around the world. So anything helps. We're $250 away from $16,000. That just blows my mind. And every penny helps, and you get a lot of amazing things thanks to our partners. And so if you click this scrolly, beautiful thing, I don't think you can click it, but if you visit this link, look at the comment section wherever you're watching from, click it, donate as much as you can. Everything helps. And this is our last live stream of the year. Thank you again, Ron. Thank you, everybody, for being on here. And 2021 is the year that we launch and officially start the flight. So let's do it. We're making it happen, and we're slowly getting toward our goal.
Yes, indeed. Again, thank you so much to absolutely everybody on here. You are all incredible, and we will see you on the first one in the new year. We don't know when that one is yet. So
Happy New Orbit.
Yeah, indeed. Happy holidays to you, whatever it is you may celebrate. If you don't celebrate at all, hopefully you get some vacation time and you get to take advantage of it, which is even cooler. And then, of course, we have a new year starting. We got the Great Conjunctions in a couple days. It's a busy end of the year for us, no matter what you're doing. So it's a very exciting time. So thank you all for coming in. I'm going to go get my Qdoba that was just delivered to the front door. Thank you, Postmates. So I'll see you all. I'll see you all in the next one.
Bye, everybody.